Nasir Pasha, working as a career coach for Headlight Bangalore under Project Code Unnati. I welcome you all today for Code Unnati webinar session. Under the Project Code Unnati for Youth on Career Guidance and Counseling, brought to you by UNDP India, SAP Labs, and Headlight Foundation. Project Code Unnati aims at empowering youth for future career employability skills, career guidance, and 21st century skills. This program aims to provide career guidance and counseling and 21st century skills for 12,000 youths, and also provide access to mentoring, scholarship, and apprenticeship and jobs. It is a partnership between UNDP India, UNV, supported by SAP Labs India. Headlight is implementing this project. This project activities across 3 districts of Karnataka. One is Bangalore Rural, Raichur, and Dakshin Kannada. This is brief about Project Code Unnati. Today, we will be talking about the need of volunteering to help in career path. Volunteerism can provide people with career and development skills they need to excel and stand out in busy job market. So, and our expert will share about how does volunteering help our career path. So now let me introduce our experts. Ms. Chetana Kologi, ma'am, is social entrepreneur and founder of Let's Tag On, marketplace for social impact experience to tag youth to the social development. She has been active volunteer herself for various social causes and professional institutes like Project Management Institute. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And another expert is Ms. Varsha Casey, is system engineer developer, has 2.5 years of experience, professional experience in TCS, EIS, automotive in vehicle infotainment system. She got awarded as one among top 10 CSR volunteers for CSR Bangalore in 2019. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So this is about Project Code Unnati. I have been shared, ma'am. So now I'm having few questions our youths want to get answer for that. Can we begin our rapid fire questions, Chetana ma'am and Varsha ma'am?
Sure.
Yes, yeah, sure.
So my first question for Chetana ma'am, what is volunteerism and who can volunteer, ma'am?
Okay, so it's interesting. What is volunteerism and who can volunteer? Right. So volunteerism is about basically what do you call someone who does something good without the monetary expectations, right? So that is the basic premise of what we call as volunteering, where we are not having any monetary expectations. We want to do good, we want to help someone, we want to do it. And that should answer the second question, who can volunteer? Nobody is stopping anyone from helping each other, right? So who can volunteer? There is no boundary, no limit to who can volunteer. So anyone, everyone can volunteer, is I would say that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you answering on that. Varsha ma'am, how can volunteering enable your professional growth?
Yeah, so one good question. Thank you, Mudasir. So there is a saying, helping hand when in need is a blessing indeed. Means I would like to highlight this in Kannada. ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಬಂದಾಗ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಹಸ್ತ ನೀಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವರ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ. So ಈ volunteerism which helps people to expand their perspective and which can often mean they become much more tuned with the workplace. What exactly it is going on in a workplace, they will get to know. And it also taking part, it's like a training or hands-on experience and which will create an opportunity to sharpen their existing skills and learn new skills. So like this, in the professional growth, they can expect the act of volunteerism, which offers the participants about volunteering opportunities, and it will develop leadership skills, problem solving skills, and crisis management, people management. So these kind of professional etiquettes they can learn during volunteerism, and which is a great way of building the interdepartmental relationship across a large company. And it provides an opportunity not only to contribute to society, but also to implement their knowledge, to implement their talent towards a great difference. And one more thing I would like to highlight, this volunteers like these are the glue for the community. So they just build the gap between government sectors and employees and enterprises. And of course, volunteering work is doing good for community around you. And you may discover a new passion when you are working for volunteering cause and something like professional and personal growth. And while motivating and inspiring you to work hard, this volunteering also can develop your professional skills. Along with that, this volunteering is a great place where you meet the people with common interest, and there exactly you can connect. You may get one good professional connect also. So life is a wonderful journey, and you will never know where it will take you. So just no fees and no tuition, a commitment of time and energy towards community, and you're on your own way. So for personal and professional growth, it's absolutely needed volunteering. So like this, we can achieve much through volunteerism.
So what do you say more on this professional growth, ma'am?
So professional growth, thanks for this highlight. So I would like to highlight about my own experience. So it's been a 4 years of corporate experience in my life for me. In 2017, I joined TCS. I joined as a software developer along with, I was working for C++, a programming language. So 2.5 years I worked. Along with my work, I was volunteering for corporate social responsibility causes in TCS. So then I don't know, I was an engineer, I studied electronics and communication, and I was working for C++ development. But when I come to this volunteering activities, my entire passion, my entire aspiration completely turns to support to community. And then I have chosen my career as CSR, and I moved to CSR for full-time role. That's what I can say. So professionally, personally, you can definitely grow. Yes, Mudasir. Yeah.
Next question. Chetna ma'am, through volunteering, what all career paths open up in the future, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. I'll begin by adding a few more things to what Varsha said, and she so passionately talked about it, that her own journey in terms of how it helps in personal and professional growth. And Mudasir, I understand most of the crowd is from Raichur, Dakshin Kannada, and that region. So
yes, ma'am.
yeah, would you want me to talk a bit in Kannada as well?
Yes, ma'am. That would be great, ma'am.
Okay, sure. ಸೊ ನಾನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡದವಳು, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ನಾರ್ತ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಬಂದವಳು. ಧಾರವಾಡದಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಓದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು SDM ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಧಾರವಾಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ನಿಮ್ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಫರ್ದರ್, ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಹೈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೋಡ್ ಉನ್ನತಿಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ, ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಒಂದು, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಆರ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ತುಂಬಾ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ನನ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ ಸೇರತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ಆ ಕರಿಯರ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, am I good in this, ನನ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ ಬರತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ. So there are a lot of confusions about what am I good at, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. So Athara, that is a lot of confusion that one goes through in the development phase, in the career development phase, right? When we are learning and growing up. So volunteering is the best way to experiment with yourself. You get to do things which you will not get in a formal setup, whether it is a college or your regular role in a company, and what you can do. And so volunteering is one area where you can experiment with yourself. Experiment ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಏನ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯರಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು you learn through this volunteering. That is the first thing, okay, in the personal and the professional growth, which is volunteering gives you an opportunity to experiment with yourself and learn more about your own strengths and weaknesses. And there are people who have taken up some public speaking volunteering or teaching kids volunteering or atara tagondbitu, then they have realized that their strength lies in talking to people, their strength lies in inspiring people. And Varsha was also talking about her experience when she said she started volunteering and then she realized her strength is in this and she changed the career. So like this, you realize your strengths and then they have gone on to become a public speaker. They have gone on to become a master of ceremony. So ಈ ತರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ you realize. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನನ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು you will realize. Or I don't like talking to people. So let me not go into things like that. I might take more individual role. Athwa I'm take more research oriented roles and that. So first thing is volunteering gives you that opportunity to experience different things and experiment with yourself, which will help you gain an understanding, better understanding of yourself. The first thing. The second is what Varsha also talked about, the problem solving skills ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಏನೇ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಆಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಥ್ರೂ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈವನ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಇವಾಗ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ವಿತ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟೀಸ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ, ರೈಟ್? ವಿ ಆಲ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ರೆಸಿಲಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಗ್ರಾಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ದದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ feel that, right? Then we can do much more. So you develop these life skills, life attitudes like gratitude agli, empathy agli, connecting with different people. Our mansal enide, what are they going through? That is what is needed. And resilience. What happens like every day? The current COVID situation is a great example of resilience, right? How resilience is nothing but one bidmele edak agatto illo, whether I will stand back, not literally in terms of biddu elu anta alla, but once I have gone through the lowest phase in my life, how strongly I get up and do it. So when you work with these communities, when you volunteer, when you see so much happening around, then you will realize that you will develop resilience, right? So that is the third thing. You will develop attitude, the great attitudes of gratitude, empathy, resilience, and those kind of things which are critical for life. And then you will build network. Like again, I think Varsha talked about how she built network in the professional journey. And I will come to that more on that, Mudassir, because my own journey of volunteering itself is so much of a network that I have built. And I think that's something that definitely a complete new world opens up because of volunteering. And coming to the question of, okay, what are the career paths that could open up? And I understand through Project Code Unnati, you have been doing a lot of career guidance sessions. You are helping them in skill development, and various things are happening. Right now, the point is, there are two things, right? One is after knowing what you're good at, there are many more options that open up. Like I said, once you teach, you might feel that, oh, I can be a good teacher, or I can be a good public speaker, or I can build partnerships. So those are the different career options that open up once through volunteering. And the other segment of career streams is itself. And again, I'll go back to what Varsha said in terms of she moving to a space of CSR because of her volunteering. And similar case with me, I moved from being a software engineer and 2 decades of experience in the IT industry to starting up something in the social development space. So you will never know how your career progresses depending on your experiences. So you should focus on gathering as many experiences as possible, meeting as many people as possible, and doing the best you can do to get the exposure. And that's what volunteering gives you. So I'll pause here, Mudassir, and then we will take on more questions.
Sure. Varsha ma'am, would you like to add anything more on this question on this?
So yeah, that's what regarding the career paths which I was mentioning. Yeah, so one thing I would like to highlight here, like face-to-face networking also builds interpersonal skills along with their professional growth. And one more, which is the career development, where the skill based opportunities. Nowadays, the skill based opportunities are a pro bono support for all the NGOs. I think one of the study, ಒಂದು ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, 92% ಅಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೋ ಬೋನೋ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇಂದ NGOಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇವಾಗಿನ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. ಸೊ ಈ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಗ್ರೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಥ್ರೂ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್ opportunities. So like this, we can establish and we can explore more career paths through volunteerism. Yes, Mudassir.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Varsha. Thanks, Varsha. So, how to contribute active participate in volunteering opportunities, Varsha ma'am?
Here it comes, corporate social. So I have two different opportunities, two different pathway to contribute. One is through corporates and one more through NGOs, like non-profit organization, ಲಾಭರಹಿತ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So corporate social responsibility ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸಾಂಸ್ಥಿಕ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. So this is a concept where organizations, they serve the interest of society by taking a responsibility for the impact of their activities on customers, employees, shareholders and communities and the environment in all the aspects of their operations. So usually ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳೇನಿರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು, ಅವು ಈ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳು, ಗ್ರಾಹಕರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಷೇರುದಾರರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಮುದಾಯಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವವನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನ ನಿಭಾಯಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸಾಂಸ್ಥಿಕ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೊ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ the volunteers can search for opportunities and contribute to community. That is one pathway through CSR. So one who is aspiring to go for any IT sectors or any organization, they can definitely contribute towards community through corporate social responsibility. And one more we can explore through Google also, and we have many opportunities. For example, under Tata Group itself, we have many pro-engage initiatives where the volunteers can dedicate their time and efforts towards education. So like this, even many NGOs, I think Hedelda itself is one of the NGO, non-profit organization, where they are supporting for school dropout youths as well. So you can connect with the NGOs, particularly ಲಾಭರಹಿತ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ it's not only dedicating some money or sponsoring some money towards someone, it's also dedicating their time or even digital volunteering. Technically ಕೂಡ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಲೈಕ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಟೀಚ್ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ we can explore many more opportunities through NGOs and through corporate social responsibility. So like this, we can actively contribute or participate in volunteering opportunities.
Thanks, ma'am. So next, my question is for both Chetana ma'am and Varsha ma'am.
Yes.
How to go for volunteering opportunities, Chetana ma'am?
Yeah.
ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಆಗಿ?
Yeah, sure. So volunteering opportunities basically ಇವಾಗ I think ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಅವರು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ there are enough opportunities to contribute, right? ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಏನಿದೆ, ನೀವು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ನೀವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ಜಾಬ್ಸಿಗೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನಫ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು. ಬಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ನಾವು ಆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನೇನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನಫ್. ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಯೋರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ನೀವೇನೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯೋರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯೋರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್, I think the first step is that, because you will not become a burden on the system in that case, right? And then you can volunteer more around you. Get started. Like Mudassir asked that question in the beginning, who can volunteer anta? There is no definition or boundary of who can volunteer. Just get started with what you can do in your surrounding. Then things will move on and people will join you. Yeah.
Varsha ma'am.
Yeah, so when it comes to student life, so student life is a golden life. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ NSS ಅಂಡ್ NCC ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸೇವಾ ಸಮಿತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೋ, ಲೈಕ್ NSS ಅಂಡ್ NCC, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೋರ್ ಮಚ್. Oh, that is one thing, and that's what I suggested. Once it comes to corporate, CSR will be there. But before that, before going to the corporate life, you can explore in your surroundings. Where, for example, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೀದಿಯಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಸದ ವಿಲೇವಾರಿ ತ್ಯಾಜ್ಯ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಬೀದಿನ, ನಿಮ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ತ್ಯಾಜ್ಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ರೀಸೈಕಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೀಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವೇ ಗಿಡ ನೆಡಿ. ನೀವು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ನೀವು ಒಬ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಯವ್ರು ಕಲಿತಾರೆ, ಓ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವೈ ಕಾಂಟ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಕಲಿತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್. ವೇರ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಗೋ, ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಕ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್. ಯಾ,
thank you ma'am. So Chaitanya ma'am, how to create impact through volunteering ma'am?
Yeah. So how to create impact through volunteering? And first thing, once you get started, right, you will already start making an impact. You will already start making an impact to yourself and people around you. And the key about making an impact, and it is a much larger topic in terms of what is an impact, and how is it measured and what it is done and all. But the first thing is make sure that you clearly define the outcomes of your volunteering. What would you want to achieve by this? Whether it could be a clean spot, it could be teaching, especially if you're taking up a teaching volunteering. You can define outcomes like, okay, I'll help these students clear SSLC exam, or I will help these students clear a scholarship exam. So when you define more outcome-oriented deliverables, then you can make it more impactful. That's something that I would like to share.
Thanks ma'am. Varsha ma'am, is there any difference between corporate and NGO volunteering ma'am?
Corporate and NGO volunteering. So what I can say is it's yes, actually there is a difference. So through corporate we will have some other flagship programs where exactly it will define specific protocols, but for NGO itself it will be different. And when it comes to the collaboration plan, the NGO and corporates together, they will work and they will work on the society. Yeah.
Okay. Chaitanya ma'am, would you like to add more on this between corporate and NGO?
Yeah, sure. So corporate volunteering, and I think the target is all these students, right? Currently, the career,
yes,
exactly.
Okay, so currently you are all, I think, aspiring to do very well in your studies and get onto a job in corporates and get right. So there is no major difference between the way volunteering would work in a corporate or this thing. It is finally corporates will work with the NGOs as partners to make an impact or take up projects for implementation. Like currently SAP Labs is working with Head Held High for this project Code Unnati, right? So we have all the entities here. We have SAP Labs, which is a corporate. We have Head Held High, which is a non-profit organization or an NGO. And then they both have come together for Project Code Unnati, where they are giving guidance on career and skilling and various things. Like that, finally, all the entities come together and work together. So there is no major difference in the way you would operate, but in a corporate setup, you will have probably more structured programs for engaging in volunteering. You will have more structured events in doing it. So the best thing is once you join a company, make sure you find out that one active set group of volunteers who are there and become part of that. And you will gain much more in addition to your regular job.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, what are usually the requirements for volunteering, ma'am? Requirements of volunteering. Chaitanya ma'am, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Chaitanya
So,
ma'am,
what
please
are
go ahead.
usually the requirements for volunteering?
So you mean what kind of volunteering requirements are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Varsha, you want to go ahead?
I think, they are asking like requirements for volunteering, is it? Requirements for volunteering you're expecting. So actually this volunteering itself there is no requirements, like specific do's or don'ts can be followed. If we have some initiative, we need to follow some do's and don'ts. If they will have specific procedure to follow. And first thing, that is first requirement, which is time commitment. And if they're going to commit some time for something, they need to give that commitment, efforts, commitment, and responsibility which they are going to take. So these are the three basic requirements must be there from the volunteers. So that's what through which we can expect the quantifiable impact.
So, Chetna ma'am,
Yes, Mr.
Yeah, definitely. I think commitment is very, very important. Whatever time you commit, all right, make sure that you are sincere in those efforts. Don't just do it for a certificate, or just don't do it for, okay, my college wants it, or my company
Yeah.
wants it, or things like that. Do it because you want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, don't force yourself. Leave it. Like you will probably find a appropriate time when you will want to do it. So then you come back to it, but commit to it. I think the first requirement is committed volunteers, Mudassir. So commitment is very key.
thank you, ma'am. So, next question for both of you. Would you like to share any piece of advice with our youth?
Yeah, Varsha.
Varsha ma'am.
Yeah. So for this advice, I would like to say, give as much as time as you can. So if you want to see some impact, whatever you feel to do something for society, just go ahead and do, and see where you can see the most impact. And expect nothing from any volunteering activity. Be humble, be kind, and be flexible. So that's what. If you would like to volunteer through kind heart, never expect anything. So there is a saying in Bhagavad Gita, कर्मण्ये वादिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन karma pala hetur burmarte swagastya akarmani, means you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to have the fruits of action. So ninna palavana ninu ಯಾವತ್ತು ಬಯಸಬೇಡ. Just ನೀನು whatever you, if you want to do something to society, just do it. Don't expect anything and expect nothing from your actions. So that's what one single advice. Yeah.
That's great words, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, Varsha. So
Thank you.
my
Yeah.
advice would be that do your best in whatever you take up. Okay, don't leave that room for regret. You will not have a second chance to do anything again. So and it is for your own good that you do the best possible, and best possible can be different for each of us. But is it your best? You have to decide, and whether are you giving your best, that's what you have to do.
Thank you both of you, ma'am. So I have a few questions from the students now.
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
For you,
please.
it's for the Chetana ma'am. First question is like, how can one build the capacity to be good at managing corporate volunteering in companies, either within to get employees involved?
Okay. So I think this is about probably time management and how can I really do well in so many things, right? You have a job, you have other things to take care of, and where will I get the time for volunteering? Is that the question, Mudassir?
Yes, ma'am. Like managing the corporate in the volunteering in companies
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, like
with the
we have
group.
been discussing, volunteering is something that you will take up beyond your regular job or regular studies, right? So that is where you have to first assess how much time can you give. And I always tell it's not about time management, it's about priority. So whenever you feel like, oh, I don't have time for it, just replace it by saying, oh, it's not my priority right now. And then you will realize whether that is the right thing or not. So in terms of managing time, first thing is to make sure that you feel it is important. Once you feel it is important, time will somehow come about. The second thing is get started, like Varsha was also talking about. Just do it, and once you do it, you will start realizing the benefits, and you yourself will keep going back to it. Then you won't have to manage it; it will manage you, right? So it is important that you make a beginning and you make it a priority. Then things will fall in place in terms of management.
Thank you, Chetana ma'am. Varsha ma'am, would you like to add on this on managing corporate volunteering in companies to get employees involved?
Hello.
Yes, Varsha ma'am.
Yes, can you just pardon me the question? I think there was an issue with my network.
No issues. How can one build the capacity at good managing corporate volunteering in companies with either within to get employees involved in? To need the brief answer.
Okay. Okay, brief answer. How to build the capacity. So basically, if you are you need to identify your aspiration first. If you are very good at educating people, or if you are good at serving people on something else other than education support, and if you are good at digital support, or if you are good at technical, or if you are good at feeding, I mean, for providing food support. So just identify your aspiration, then you can definitely build your capability and capacity while volunteering.
Thanks, Varsha ma'am.
Yeah.
Second question is, as a NGO employee, how important is to have a team which can orient and convince corporate to do a volunteer work with you in general or projects? Chetra ma'am?
Okay.
I think Varsha can take that.
So actually, NGO need to
Both.
convince corporates, right? Yeah. So to make a collaboration, it's not, we can't use that word convince. It's all about collaboration part. So yeah, it up to the corporates where exactly their focus depends on. If they are ready to sponsor something, then definitely there will be a collaboration. And if they are really looking for education support, there will be some sort of collaboration. So only thing the corporates will see the impact, reach, outcome, and impact. How exactly it works if we collaborate with the NGOs. That's what I work usually with my NGOs. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Chetra ma'am.
Yeah. One thing we should understand is collaboration, right? As much as NGOs want corporates to engage, same is the case with corporates. For them to have a partner who can engage with the communities, who can work on the ground, and where they can get some meaningful experiences, meaningful opportunities for their employees. So it's always about making sure that both the parties get what they are looking for, and then collaboration. So that should be the key. Like, you can sit across and discuss what are the requirements of the employees, what are their skills, what are their interests, and then if you are able to give that kind of opportunities, that would be great.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Would you break any myth about volunteerism?
So I think from my perspective, right, the biggest myth about volunteering is that it is about giving. It's not about giving. You will realize once you start volunteering that you take a lot more than what you give. So whenever somebody says that volunteering is a very selfless activity, I always correct them saying that it's a very selfish activity, because you gain so much by it that it is something that you will carry on. So that is something that I would like to change about volunteering, thinking that, oh, okay, I'm doing great, I'm contributing, I am giving. No, it is not that. It is just that you're being part of a process where we are growing together.
So, Varsha ma'am,
Yeah,
how would you
I
do?
would like to go with Chetna, ma'am. I was having that answer actually. So when it comes to volunteering or CSR, people thinks about like we need to sponsor or we need to give some money. It's not always money. It's always like humanity first. So this volunteerism itself is based on the humanity, where exactly with your own will, you doesn't know who is the person, but still you are going to make them smile in that point of time. So it's not about sponsoring only money. It's all about contributing your time and efforts towards community, and along with that, in the back, don't expect anything, but still you will grow yourself. Yeah, that's all.
So, Chetra ma'am, would you like to tell more on NGOs where students can go for after like graduation? They can join for any NGOs to work
Yeah,
on.
sure. So at Let's Tag On, we specifically do that. We work with a lot of student volunteers, and we work on a lot of awareness development, induction of students in developing key ingredients for volunteering or engaging with social development. And even our platform, which is letstagon.com, has a lot of opportunities. And specifically for students, I would suggest it is important that you figure out what you can do. There are NGOs where you can do community engagement, like you can go and teach kids or engage with elderly or work with people with disability or go and clean up animal shelter. So depending on the cause that you connect to, right, you can volunteer as a community engagement. The second one is on the infrastructure or the cleanup activities and things like that. There are many NGOs who take up things like that, right? Spot cleaning or cleaning up of your school or painting a school activity. So there are many NGOs who work in that space where you can get engaged, like tree planting or seed ball making, so things like that, which are more event based, more kind of infrastructure oriented and cleanup and things. And third is a little more skill based thing where you can get engaged with administrative activities of NGO, and especially where it requires field work, like I will go and do a field survey of people. I'll do a field survey of the community and what are their access needs, whether water is there, whether sanitation is there, what is happening, or how many kids are going to school. So there are quite a bit of activities or volunteers needed with NGOs who work in rural India, who work in the communities, who work on ground in terms of reaching out to do these such surveys and things like that. So that will help again students to interact with people, develop confidence. So these are the three major categories that I would feel in terms of community engagement or infrastructure development, or the third one is market surveys or administrative and operations with NGOs. And a fourth and a bigger category is a longer term skill development, like organization development, where as you experience, as you become more experienced in a corporate, you can volunteer for bigger things like strategy, planning, marketing, human resource development, and various things like that.
So, Varsha ma'am.
Yeah, so many people they think like feeding homeless people or reading to children as their only option as volunteering, but many opportunities on digital volunteering as well. That's what I suggested, like technical support for many NGOs they can support, and usually the main sectors of non-profits and volunteer work, which will include social and legal services, civic and environmental advocacy, and arts and culture, education, health services, water and sanitation, and international relations and development. So we have many sectors. So the students can explore opportunities and then they can choose based on their interest and aspirations. They can join the NGOs and they can support to community.
That's great answers, ma'am. So,
Yeah.
next question from the student: what benefit do I get if I join the NGOs, ma'am?
Okay. That's what I suggested. Like, expect nothing from volunteering. So, still, if you are looking for some benefits, that's what I mentioned. You can professionally and personally, ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ವೃತ್ತಿಪರವಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನ ಕಾಣಬಹುದು. Like you can improve your leadership skills and speaking skills, communication skills, public speaking skills, people management. And ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, it's not like selfish answer. Definitely, if someone is looking for some certificates and to show their in CVs also, they can mention this as like I have volunteered for these kind of causes and all. So these are kind of benefits and it is an added advantage everywhere. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you covered it, Varsha. I think the
Yes.
first question covered in terms of what are the professional and personal development,
Yes.
and that's all you can gain from volunteering.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. So, from your end, like, would you like to add more anything to from NGOs and volunteering more, ma'am?
No, I think we
Would you
have
like to tell
covered
anything more on this,
major,
Chetna, ma'am?
yeah, no, we have covered major things. The key messages that I would want students to take back is basically one is just get started. Or don't think too much, don't worry too much, don't have to search too much. Just look around, get started in doing whatever you can. And the second is basically to kind of make sure that you are able to take more people along with you and build that community of volunteers and take up the journey.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, Also, I thank the
Yeah.
students who joined today's webinar and
Yes.
keep it going. I would like
Yes,
to thank
Mudasir,
them.
just one last point I like to highlight. Hello.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have a saying: we make a living by what we get, and we make a life by what we give. So just give something to society, and this life is a wonderful journey, and you never know where it will take you. This volunteering can help you to become a more passive traveler. You can make a plan and actively build a skills to enhance your professional lives. No fees, no tuition, a commitment of time and energy, and you are on your own way. ಸೊ ಗುರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಿರಿಯರಿಗೆ ಶಿರಬಾಗಿ ನಮಿಸಿದರೆ ನರಸುರರು ಒಲಿದು ಸಿರಿಸುರಿದು ಕೈಲಾಸ ಕರತಲ ಮಲಕ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks. Really very heart-touching word that one
Very
was.
well said, Varsha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I would like to thank
Yeah, I
Varsha
think, yeah.
ma'am for giving valuable opinions and knowledge on this need for volunteering to help in career path, ma'am. Thank you both of
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mudasir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hedeltai and team, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.